Welcome back, he's, she's, theys, and castaways to Behind the Music, the Survivors. Just a reminder, in this series we will be focusing on the survivors and their dramatic choice to replace a member of their band. Here's what happened this week. Where did we start, Aurora?
So Robin introduced his solo walk challenge, which is a play on Shot in the Dark, which has been run previously. So in this challenge, castaways had to fire sick riffs at each other and try and shield from the other person, all while being able to talk with nobody except their partner. In the challenge, they all had 8 health and had to try and whittle each other down, although not really knowing what's going on for everybody else.
In the end, it was you, Velk, and Emma who came out on top. And in the tribal council, which resulted from this challenge, it was one of the pairs which got ejected from the contest.
So the options were Caitlin, Max, Aiden and Elliot, Elizabeth and Nolan, or Manya and Michael. Yeah, it was a double elimination tribal council, so whatever pairs were placed together in the challenge were getting voted for together. On that day, there was also another idol drop. That was exciting. Eli managed to find it the night of, so same to see how that's turning out. And then, what actually happened in the tribal council?
So it ended up being Aiden and Elliot who got the short end of the stick. Yeah, they got voted out as a pair, so depending on how you view it, one of them was dragged down by the other.
Tribal councils are hard, they're part of the game. That's why we no longer engage with us.
That's right.
We got voted out. But after that, there was the Jubilee Challenge. Now, Tommy, 4 years ago, 2020.
Yes.
Were you much of an Among Us player?
Oh, Among Us. I remember that game in the depths of the COVID-19 pandemic when our public life was closed down and we were asked to social distance for the betterment of the public health. So I flattened the curve. I remember Mike DeWine was on the TV with Dr. Amy Acton, public health director of the state of Ohio. And they told us, we've got to stay home. And you know how we warmed those cold nights, Aurora? It was with none other than Among Us! Why do you ask?
Well, in the Jubilee Challenge, castaways had to figure out who was the secret spectator. And how did that work?
So basically, the castaways, they couldn't talk to each other. It was really a very asocial game. The only way they could communicate to each other was by asking and answering questions anonymously. So the castaways wouldn't be able to say, oh, this came from this person. It came from castaway number 1 or 2 or 9. But you might notice that there's only 8 castaways in the game right now. So who's number 9?
Well, I thought it would be Brian, but it was none other than Ethan Andrew James.
Ethan Andrew James?
Back from season 5.
Wow.
Castaways, answer confessional questions. Or take 25 cards in the room. They will have
you
a
gotta answer
full
those,
hand.
Yeah, I gotta answer those confessional questions, people. I know you won't be watching this until after the season is over, if at all. But please,
It's not
please.
It's not too late. You can always do that.
We have spectator engagement. We're very sad that you aren't answering these questions.
It's truly devastating.
We put a lot of work into it. Well, Faye puts a lot of work into it. We sometimes put work into it.
We watch and appreciate Faye putting work into that.
So please, and make sure to tip your little.
20%. Anyways,
So, what else was going on?
so Ashlyn then ran his next challenge and wanted to do more of a community building one after 2 challenges with locked one-on-ones. Probably for the best. So he had them guessing names of artists for songs, and this was an immunity challenge. In the end, Michael won, and we are now nearing the end of this tribal council, and so much is happening in this one.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of very calm councils recently, or this past week. This is not one of them. Max is going off. Do you want to talk about what is done, or?
You know, there's times when you really have to glue yourself to your computer screen to read those confessionals and those one-on-ones, and sometimes a travel chat too. Usually they don't talk about this. But you know, Max, he's been scheming. You know, he's trying to get Manya out.
Well, first, a lot of people were looking at getting Max out.
That's right.
And he decided, through whatever fate or luck or social deduction, that he was going to make sure that didn't happen. So when it looked like a majority were already pretty set on voting him, he came in and basically has just created a new alliance chat out of the blue and has convinced people to vote for Manya while secretly wanting to use Eli's idol to save Manya and redirect the vote somewhere else, without letting the other castaways who want to vote him even realizing it. And at this point, he's fairly far off their radar.
Yeah, no, it's very Machiavellian.
Yeah.
Or
So
it might backfire, but if it works.
it might. So currently, it is looking like it might successfully redirect to getting Yuvel voted out when a majority on Manya is prevented with the idol. However, that has not been the only social play going around. We had somebody a little bit famous on campus last night. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Your personal idol?
Yes. Casty Crane. She hosted season 6 of Dennison Survivor.
That's not my man.
Oh.
Mia Henham?
Mia Hanna was
No.
on campus. She was the publicist of the last season of Survivor.
No, your inspiration.
My
The
inspiration.
reason that you do what you do. Who inspired you to pick your major, Tom?
Ronald Reagan?
Famous comedian, Steve Carell.
Oh. Right. Steve Carell was on campus.
And Michael, in an infinite amount of wisdom, told Manya that he would do a final 2 with her if she could get his Steve Carell pillow signed by him at the Burpees show, which somehow she did.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the story is there.
Not sure either, but she succeeded. So it looks like there's maybe that final 2 alliance created. Maybe it's just Michael who actually cares. Maybe Manya's going to betray him. I have no idea. I just really want to see the Steve Carell film.
Yeah, no, I was surprised to learn that Steve Carell was rooting for Manya and Michael.
Well, you know,
I always thought he was more of a Yuvel sort of guy.
he's willing to take sides and fight for the castaway he believes in.
No, this has been a very exciting Tribal Council.
It's been a good one. Things seem to be escalating as we hit the end. We are very close now to FTC.
Only a few more weeks. Hard to believe it. But what happens next?
Stay tuned and find out on next week's update of
Behind the music, the survivors.